Welcome to Agribiotech, a program focused on the significance of biotechnology to agricultural development in Nigeria. I am Lara Afolayan. Last year, approval for the commercial release of 2 genetically modified varieties of the BT cotton was given by the country's National Varietal Release Committee. Earlier this year, the National Biosafety Management Agency also approved the environmental release of the BT cowpea variety after carrying out risk assessment of its confined field trials findings, which began 9 years ago. The agency will be shedding more light on this issue and more on today's edition of the program. But first, let's see how Malawi is inching closer to commercializing the BT cotton as research into the genetically modified crop reaches an advanced stage. Malawi is gradually moving towards commercializing the BT cotton as research into the genetically modified crop is at an advanced stage. The Department of Agricultural Research is conducting national performance trials into the crop to assess its performance under farmers' conditions and determine socio-economic analysis of the impact of the technology in readiness to developing a dossier for a proposal to release the technology through the country's Agricultural Technology Clearing Committee. The initial confined field testing was completed through trials conducted at 5 sites across the country. Results from these multi-locational trials were consistent and showed yield and bollworm protection of BT cotton over conventional cotton varieties. The yield advantage was also double. The executive director of the Institute for Agricultural Research at the Ahmadu Bello University in Zaria, Ibrahim Abubakar, says with biotechnology, Nigeria and other countries have a golden opportunity to maintain the health of plant and animal species in the natural environment and also keep them safe for future generations. He adds that over the years, many plant and animal species have disappeared from the earth, partly due to human degradation of the environment. The scientist also says the major advantage of biotechnology is in reducing the deterioration of the environment through excessive use of chemicals and other inputs such as fertilizers. He believes the use of modern biotechnology to improve the genetic makeup of crops to increase yield rather than depending on pesticides and fertilizers, which are evidently causing negative effects on the environment, shows that biotechnology can indeed preserve the environment. The project officer for the Open Forum on Agricultural Biotechnology in Africa, OFAB, Enoch Ilori, says there is no record in any country that suggests deaths after consumption of genetically modified foods. He was speaking at the 39th Green Week celebration of the University of Cape Coast School of Agriculture in Ghana, in collaboration with the International Association of Students in Agriculture and Related Scientists. Ilori wants individuals, groups or organizations with any such literature on the subject matter to bring it forward for consideration. A joint venture project between the Commonwealth Scientific and Industrial Research Organization (CSIRO) and the U.S. Foundation has seen recent success with a field trial of a wheat variety stacked with 5 wheat rust-resistant genes. The collaboration between CSIRO and the University of Minnesota, known as Two Blades, demonstrated strong field resistance to the stem rust disease in wheat plants containing a stack of 5 resistant genes. Since 2008, Two Blades has led an international wheat rust consortium with the aim of fighting wheat stem and stripe rust by sourcing and combining resistance genes from wheat and its relatives. CSIRO Research Director Steve Swain says the institute had a big focus on crop diseases with its greatest attention on wheat and rust. Wheat is Australia's largest field crop, and rust is one of the most serious threats to the crop. As part of efforts to empower youths and women in skills acquisition and bioresources wealth creation, a Bioresource Development Center has been established for the National Biotechnology Development Agency. It is to help in protecting the environment and control erosion while improving economically important bioresources. The foundation-laying ceremony of the Bioresource Development Center of the National Biotechnology Development Agency, NABDA. This also includes the establishment of the Research and Design Extension Center of the National Institute of Leather and Science Technology. The National Biotechnology Development Agency says the Bioresource Center will help protect the environment and control erosion while boosting essential bioresources. It is also positive the center will help empower youths and women in skills acquisition and bioresource wealth creation.
NABDA embarks on bioresource center development to encourage the deployment of entrepreneurship in biotechnology. NABDA's first bioresource center, Biotech, was established in Oji in 2003. Since then, the federal government has approved the creation of many more centers due to the huge benefits that biotechs bring to communities and the country at large. Today, there are over 30, in actual fact, we have 32 bioresource development centers in this country.
The Science and Technology Authorities say technology-induced skills are more durable, cost-effective, and of immense societal benefits. They believe the Resource Center will assist in agricultural production and boost economic activities.
With these centers we are establishing, come and tell them of those problems. They are there for you. They will work on that and give you results, so that your production will improve.
Beneficiaries of this center will be encouraged to access credits from the Bank of Industry, pending the creation of a science and technology bank that will assist scientists, inventors, and innovators to access credits at low interest rates.
Did you know that genetically modified organisms, GMOs, are safe and do not pose any risk, hazard, or danger to human, animal, and the environment? Neither do they cause cancer, infertility, sterility, tumor, or any adversity. There is safe use of GMO drugs like insulin, vaccine, rapid diagnostic test kits for malaria, HIV, hepatitis, and so on. The safety of GMOs is certified by the World Health Organization, WHO, Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO, European Food Safety Authority, EFSA, the National Academies of Science globally, the Royal Society, UK, and over 110 prize Nobel laureates. GMOs are safe, effective, and certified by MBMA in Nigeria.
And next, we join the Director General of the National Biosafety Management Agency, Dr. Rufus Ebegba, as he sheds more light on regulating genetically modified products in Nigeria and the environmental release of the BT cowpea variety earlier this year.
establishment of the National Biosecurity Management Agency is one of the best things that ever happened to this country. Through the establishment of the agency, Nigerians can be sure of the consumption of safe products of modern biotechnology, because the agency, before granting approval for any genetically modified organism, risk assessment is very crucial and is key to our operations. So we ensure that we carry out in-depth risk analysis of such products and confirm them safe, or otherwise, if we don't find them safe, we consider that the product is good for Nigerians. And apart from the risk assessment we carry out, as earlier said, we also look at the socioeconomic impact. Apart from the fact that we confirm it safe, we also confirm it economically viable for this country. I know they've made allusion to the fact that since the insect that consumes the beans will die, it means human beings will also die. There is no relationship to that. We have done their risk analysis, and again, the system of insects, the biological system of insects are not the same with that of humans. And this particular modification, the gene that kills the insect, was taken from Bacillus thuringiensis. It is a particular bacterium which has been among farmers, among us over the years. But Bacillus thuringiensis is in the soil. If you touch the soil today, it will also, you will find it in your fingertip. Children playing with it is also there, like this garden egg and all these farm products. If you consume them, it does not mean that the bacterium will kill you. Medically, the bacterium has not been confirmed to cause any harm to humans. It has always been with us. It is from that bacterium that the gene of insert into the beans was derived from, and it has been confirmed to be safe. And I think Nigerians need not to be afraid, because there have been a lot of misconception on this, and I think it's not right. The role of the National Biosecurity Management Agency is basically to ensure that risk assessment and risk management are deployed before any genetically modified organism is released, either for planting, consumption, or for processing. And when you talk about risk assessment, the risk assessment are in the area of safety to human health and also the environment. We also put into consideration the issue of socioeconomic concerns. And when we talk about the safety to human health, we are looking at the source of the gene that has been used for the modification. Is this particular gene, where it is coming from, where it is derived, is it safe? And also the performance of the gene in the body of the organism that has been intended to have been modified. We also want to find out how it reacts. Does it lead to the production of new toxins or allergy? So these are the things we look at when it comes to human aspect of it, to ensure that it's not toxic and does not also cause allergy. When we talk about allergy, we're looking at it. If you consume these particular beans, will it lead to body reactions or even internal reactions that are not peculiar to that particular organism in its natural form. Then we also look at the environmental aspect of it. Will the organism, for instance, genetically modified beans become a weed suddenly? Will it become weed suddenly? Will it become superorganism that will not be displacing of other organisms? Will it become invasive, that will not become more dominant, destroying other plants and making it the only one that can survive within that environment? My assurance to Nigerians is that the National Biosecurity Management Agency, apart from the fact that we have the facilities to really detect which organism is safe and which is not safe, we also have well-trained manpower. And apart from that, the process that led to the decision did not only rest on the National Biosecurity Management Agency alone. We have other experts committee that looked into the application in-depthly, and also we also have other ministries and line agencies that are working closely with the agency in this regard. And the issue of monitoring to find out whether there will be new manifestations from the crop is also on ground. And remember, these products have been under trial for more than 9 years, since 2009 to 2018, where it was finally approved. So Nigerians need not to panic, they need not to be worried. Should they have any doubt on anything that is genetically modified, the agency is always available, And one thing we do too, we also try to put the public into cognizance in our decision-making process. We normally have 21-day public notice for Nigerians to make input into it, and we look at these the reactions of the members of the public to guide our decisions, and not just making comments from the public alone. Your comments should be scientific enough, or it should be something that is presentable and have a weight of evidence to enable us to put into consideration. The need for us to ensure that there's a holistic about safety in the country. We have signed memorandum of understanding with some line agencies. We have with the Quarantine Service, the AFDAC, State Council, and also one of the major border agencies, the Customs Service. We're already collaborating, but we are in the process of concluding memorandum of understanding with the Nigeria Customs Service. And we are also working in a way that in the near future will also be at the border. One thing I want to let people know, genetically modified organisms are not things that we are expecting that people will want to smuggle into the country, because there is severe penalty for violators, bringing them into this country without approval. And there are procedures that have been put in place, protocols and put in place for bringing it. And another thing again is that we should not also assume that these products will come from outside the country. Within the Nigerian space, we have about 15 agric research institutes. We also have conventional universities that will be doing genetic engineering. So within the country, we also have these products. And these are not products that you can just develop overnight. It takes years for them to develop. So anybody that wants to really do business in that sector will also be prepared to ensure that the laws are followed, because you will be of no use after spending 5, 10, 15 years to develop a product. Then you want to smuggle it into the country. It's of no use when there are no laws for you not to bring them into the country. There are no mangoes that are genetically modified, no oranges, or these so-called garden egg and others. These are just speculations that are based on ignorance. These products have been developed through breeding techniques, and some of them are hybrids through conventional breeding means. So they are not genetically modified. There are very few crops that are genetically modified, and on a larger scale, commercial level in the country, they are not already in the market. They are not in the market already. They are not in the market. Like the genetically modified cowpea, which we have granted commercial approval, is not yet in the market. And also the cotton we also granted medicine. They are not also in the market yet, but they are being developed so that you can have enough for farmers who may want to want to grow them, and also to develop fields that farmers will go and inspect and say they want them. And another thing, all genetically modified organisms will be labeled, and nobody will be compared to each genetically modified organisms. They will live along with other other normal crops. And when people talk about genetically modified, people tend to think that these are products that are developed through chemicals. It is not so. It is a normal organism that its gene has been added, another gene to perform a specific function has been added onto, or has been modified in a way to perform a particular role, to solve a specific problem. Our responsibility as an agency is to make sure these products are safe, and there are other agencies that play other roles, but we assure Nigerians that we will carry out our mandate holistically for the interests of all Nigerians. The beauty cowpea, the holder of the permit still needs to meet the varietal release committee, because the varietal release committee approves all new varieties of crops that are produced. They look into the agronomic performance of such crops before to be sure that they have higher productivity. They also have good vigor over and above existing ones, and other conditions before they are allowed to be brought into the country. For the fact that they are genetically, what we have simply done is to confirm that this genetically modified cowpea is safe for human consumption, animals, and also they are also suitable for the environment. That is what we have done, and they also have economic value. Yes, I have said it. I have given the procedures we have followed. There are laid down laws, there are laid down procedures, and we have followed all we need to do. We have tested them, we have carried out the risk assessment and risk management and the major hallmark of biosafety, and we have followed this diligently. And apart from that, we have been transparent in the process. And third parties have also looked at this thing critically. And apart from the fact that these products, the gene of insert has been universally medically confirmed to be safe, I think we have already followed the international best practice in our due diligence process. The major challenge we have is not peculiar to the agency alone, the issue of funding. Because we actually need more funding to enable us to effectively police the Nigerian borders and also do more intense survey and inspection. And apart from that too, the issue of accommodation is another major thing. But the government, we are working closely with relevant government agencies to see that we have a befitting accommodation to enable us to be more, accommodated and more comfortable in our operations. As for the human capacity, I've said it times without number, with sense of humility and modesty. Nigeria is ranked very high in Africa. The implication of their action is that they are saying that we should not have a law. Some have said the Biosafety Act should be repealed, which means they want anarchy in the biotech sector. In the absence of a law, which means offense is not committed. It means that if we don't have a national biosafety law in place, it means you can bring it into this country. If it's genetically modified to cause harm, it can also enter this country because nobody will be able to verify. So far in this country is the National Biosafety Management Agency that has been equipped to be able to identify and also verify and to ensure that GMOs that are to be brought into this country are confirmed safe. Nigeria could become a dumping ground. And also we can also become a consuming nation of products that we cannot ascertain their safety before we consume them. So the NBMA is a viable option for Nigeria. And I think those who are fanning the umbrella of hatred and inciting the members of the public against the agency should stop such acts. I don't think such acts are patriotic enough. If you have anything to talk about the agency, there's nothing wrong coming to the agency and giving us advice, even writing to us. Why must you go into the media, or why must you carry placard when you have not even discussed with us? My final word is for Nigerians to trust the agency, to encourage the new agency. Within the just past 3.5 years that the agency has come into existence, we have brought these issues to the fore. That does not mean there were no GMO before the existence of the agency. And we also, through our survey, we discovered too that there were some GMOs in the form of food into this country, and we have tried to stop them. So Nigerians should just trust this agency, and they should rest assured that the agency is here to protect their interests, to make sure that it's only safe products will be allowed into the Nigerian market.
That was the Director General of the National Biosafety Management Agency, Dr. Rufus Ebegba, speaking on the country's biosafety system. And just before we go, let's take a look at this email from David, who wants to know the gestation period of the BT cowpea variety compared with the conventional breed. OFAB Nigeria has an answer to that question. And that brings us to the end of today's program. Send your emails to agribiotech1@yahoo.com. Send us tweets at agribiotech13 or post comments on the Facebook page Agribiotech on TVC. I am Lara Folayo. Goodbye.